Mike and Tom are registered with Stewart Partners Global Advisory LLC.
Common Sense Finance with Mike Wiginton and Tom Farrell of HL Wiginton Capital Management, an independent investment and financial planning firm in downtown Jasper. Mike is a chartered financial analyst charter holder, and Tom is a certified financial planner professional. They are here to discuss and give their thoughts on current financial and economic matters. Now, with Common Sense Finance, here are Mike and Tom.
All right, welcome back to another edition of Common Sense Finance. Mike Wiginton, I'm Tom Farrell. We've given a couple of coronavirus updates. This is going to be our third one. Today is November the 5th. Just wanted to discuss what's going on out there now. I know we've seen an increase in cases in the last couple of weeks. And Mike, I know you have some information you want to share about that, but we just wanted to kind of give you an update on what's going on there and how it may potentially affect the economy.
Well, I suppose my thoughts have been, and I've had this conversation a number of times just recently, that because all the conversation has been around the election,
right,
and what was going to happen with the stock market or the economics scene because of an election. And I've said time and again that really my bigger concern was how long this pandemic is going to be drawn out. Are we going to go back into lockdowns? How is that going to be affected? These restaurants and other businesses are, in my opinion, quite fragile. They've done an excellent job of navigating this and being creative. If we go into another situation where businesses are shut in, we get mandates from the government of what you can and can't do. How many of those restaurants survive that again? We're already seeing schools shut down. We're using, and Matt will scroll this around on the bottom of the screen, usafacts.org. You go to tons of sites, but what we were looking at for our own local area here, you'd notice that locally that cases had spiked again, almost as high as any time since.
I think yesterday or the day before we had our highest one-day total of new cases reported. Okay. So since this whole thing started, so yeah, the trend looks like there's a huge increase in cases, and the last time we had the lockdown, a lot of the folks that got furloughed were still getting paid, and in a lot of cases are getting some sort of benefit. And then you had a lot of people that were working from home and were able to do that. That's because right. of the type of job they had. But you have to wonder how many of those folks are going to be, if we have another situation where we shut the economy down, are those folks going to lose their jobs this time as opposed to just being furloughed? Or are they going, and are working from home? So
that's right.
Those are things we have to keep an eye on.
And you're seeing that, you mentioned it earlier, you're seeing that in Europe with renewed lockdowns. Yeah. I did not foresee the whole home improvement rush coming where you couldn't get a parking spot in Home Depot and all the lumber was gone. I certainly didn't foresee that, but I'm not so sure that I believe there's going to be another economic boon because of a second or a third lockdown.
Right.
I worry more about the reverse types of economic consequences. And the S&P 500, if you gauge the stock market by the S&P 500, it bottomed on March 23rd, 2,200 and change. As of this morning, it's up over 57% off the bottom. That's per my Bloomberg machine again this morning before we came upstairs to run the podcast. So there's it's been a great recovery, no question. But if this is prolonged, where do we go? That's my main economic. The pandemic's driving my main economic concerns, not necessarily an election.
Yeah, and you look at a lot of areas of the economy that did extremely well, even boomed during the pandemic, even during the lockdowns. People work from home. The work from home companies, home improvement companies. I don't know that you'll see that same kind of, and it was very limited. That's a limited piece of the overall economy, but we may not see that kind of activity the next go around.
this thing.